Sixers lost four in a row to the New York Knicks. That ends their season in the second round of the Eastern Conference semifinals. I'm Colby Marshall here with Troy Marshall, Chuck Butler, Noah Butler, and Drew Butler. Season's over. Season's over. No more 76ers basketball for the next 5 months. That means that we will have to look ahead to what's coming this year's draft, next season's projections, what we think guys need to do to improve, and how they can maximize the remaining years of Joel Embiid if that's the direction that the franchise decides to move forward in. But before any of that, we'll have to process the aftermath of this butt whipping a little bit that we got on our home floor against the Knicks, losing by 30 points. Guys, did we have a chance at all in Game 4, Dad?
You mean going in, or once the game they tipped off?
Once they tipped off.
No.
Can you guys hear him?
No, Troy, you're muted, Troy.
I'm sorry. I didn't think we had a chance going in. If you can't win Game 3 without the Knicks having Anunoby, then you didn't deserve to win the series anyway. So once they lost that game, I was like, yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah, good point. My expectations were super.
Do you guys? Yeah, go ahead.
Kind of had it on in the background. It was Mother's Day. I wasn't trying to let it ruin the day. It did. I didn't watch the second half. I turned it on. I think we watched Cinderella. We turned on Cinderella. I'm not kidding. At halftime, and it was a bagger.
Why Cinderella? What was? Like it's Mother's Day. You should be watching like Mommy Dearest.
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
I did.
Okay, so the guy who played Robb Stark, who was probably my favorite character.
Don't say too much because I haven't finished it.
He didn't finish it, but go ahead.
Where are you?
It's like season 2 or 3.
Okay, so the guy who plays Robb Stark, he was like Prince Charming.
Okay.
That's Robb Stark.
Right.
So yeah.
Anything like a modern Cinderella.
Correct. Well, it was still it was the whole story, but they weren't like the whole Cinderella.
Can we get back to the Sixers?
No, I want to talk about Cinderella, dude. I want to
I think we can.
Kobe, I think you were the only one that watched the full game. I missed the first half or first quarter, and then I paid like half attention to it the rest of the way. You watched it. Like, what was your expectation going into it?
I was split between expecting the Sixers to play their best game, because when their backs have been against the wall in these playoffs, we've seen them answer the bell, whether you think about the playing game, whether you think about the Boston series. So I kind of, half of myself expected the Sixers to play their best game, but then I also thought about the Knicks and how they kind of look for real right now and figured they were just going to knock us out and use this opportunity to show that they're for real and finish the series. And, that's what they did. I think if there was any way for us to lose, this was going to be it, at the knife of our poor defense and lack of energy on that end of the basketball. The offense was fine. Like, Joel Embiid didn't miss a shot in the entire game and was scoring in the first quarter. Maxey was aggressive. The offense was fine. It was the Knicks first of all, the Knicks weren't missing, but then we weren't doing anything to make them uncomfortable throughout the game. So,
and don't you guys think that has been a problem all year with the Sixers? Like, when they get punched in the mouth, they do not respond. And when I mean punched in the mouth, I mean really, really punched. The Hornets blew us out by like almost 40. We got blown out by 30 plus in 4 playoff games. 4 out of 11 playoff games. We showed no fight. That was concerning. That was more disappointing to me. I figured they were going to lose Game 4. But to lose Game 4 by another 30 points, that's something I wasn't expecting. It's very disappointing. And there's a lot of blame to go around between the players, coaches, front office, ownership. There's a lot of blame to go around. But that was very disappointing, the fact of how they went out. So
yeah, this is not I agree with you, Troy. In a way, I thought they had some decent comebacks early in the year. I remember one against Washington. Again, not a playoff
It's
team,
Washington.
team that's tanking. I know, but Washington was playing pretty decently early in the season. They had another comeback. They had like I agree with you, like especially as towards the end of the season and in the playoffs, they get blown out. They kind of give up. You, I know you didn't watch the first quarter, Kobe. You gotta admit, like the Knicks were making some like incredible shots. They weren't missing. Like they had with hands in their face. Sixers. I'm not saying the Sixers defense was excellent.
No.
They were in the vicinity, and the Knicks were just knocking them out. It was an incredible shooting performance, like incredible. So you have to knock the Sixers, but you have to give the Knicks some credit on how they wanted that game. They're like, we're not going back to New York and playing a game five. We're going to blow this team out quickly, and that's what they did. I kind of disagree with you a little bit, Kobe. And again, I shouldn't disagree with you because you probably were locked in a little bit more than I was. I didn't think like the looking at the numbers, they scored like 59 points in the first half. That's not terrible, but they gave it like 81, I think, or something like that. Um, the offense looked disjointed a little bit to me. Maxey is just not Maxey. He was hurt. They were missing open shots. Embiid looked he didn't miss a shot, but he wasn't like it wasn't fluid. And most of his points seemed like they were meaningless. So anyway, I'll give the Sixers defense stunk, but you got to give the Knicks.
I give the Knicks a lot of credit. I give them a lot of credit the way they played Maxey. They probably knew he was hurt, wasn't 100%, and they didn't care.
Yeah,
they still forced the ball. Right, they forced the ball out of his hand. If he was coming off a pick, there were two guys dragging him. They did a great job on him. Now, listen, if Maxey and Embiid play, do I think the Sixers win? I mean, if they're healthy, do I think the Sixers win? Probably not, but they could probably force it to a game 6 or 7. I would have thought, but I thought the Knicks were going to win in 7, and that's me assuming that Embiid and Maxey were healthy and not run down into the ground.
Yeah.
And I give them credit because the only reason why I picked it to go 7 was because of how they finished the Boston series. I thought that momentum would carry over early in this series, and it never did. It didn't. From the first game, it was
on that point. We talked about this in the chat, and I know me and Troy are Shaq and Kobe it right now, but I had mentioned they played 5 games in 7 days.
No, he's 4 games and it was 4 games in 7 days. Oh yeah, right.
I'm counting the Celtics game.
Count Celtics, right? Correct.
Yeah. So last Saturday they played the Celtics. This one ended. So 8 games, 8 days, 5 games in 8 days. They still would have lost to the Knicks. The Knicks look incredible. I'm actually gonna, even though they're fans, like I felt like I got a text or a meme from every Knicks fan between last night and tonight. I thought if they had a little bit more rest, they probably could put up a little bit better fight. But that Knicks team is tough, and I think they may have a chance to win a title.
Well,
do you feel?
Go ahead.
Well,
I'm sorry,
Troy,
go ahead.
just so you guys, all of you guys, do you feel like if that's the case, if they got more rest, would they have played better? And the other thing is, would you feel better about this series if the Knicks go on and win a championship?
No.
No. I don't want to see them win a championship.
Well, I'm not saying you feel better about the Knicks.
No, the fact that we lost to the champion, which I always hang my hat on. Like if my team loses in the playoffs, well, and the other team that we lost to goes on to win the championship, I'm like, well, at least we lost to the champs, but not this time because they went out sad. This team did, right? If even if the 4 games were close, all 4 games were like game 2, that would have been
Well,
more
Drew, you're all
edible
about the
than how they
macro and
went out.
micro. You're all about the
Mhm.
macro and micro. And a macro level, if I told you, okay, before the season starts, Embiid's gonna he's gonna play 38 games. The Sixers are gonna win. What they win? 45 games.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sixers are gonna win 45 games, but they're gonna be in the play-in.
Mhm.
But they'll win the play-in, and they're gonna beat the Celtics in the first round.
Mhm.
But then they go on and they're gonna lose to the Knicks, who go on and win the championship.
What's my context?
I just gave it to you. Like that's the context.
No,
Like
my context would be, first of all, how do we beat the Celtics? Context is being
oh,
down 3-1, and we
okay.
came back and won, and then getting blown out, getting swept by the Knicks, not just losing, we got swept and we got blown out by 30 plus points twice.
So you're saying if you knew that, if I told you that at the beginning
And
of
you
the
told me
season, this
all
is
of
how the
that.
season gonna play out, and you guys,
Hmm.
and I said at the end, you beat the Celtics in 7 after being down 3-1,
Right.
and then but you get swept by the Knicks, who go on to win the championship. You wouldn't be okay. I'll take that after Embiid loses. And oh, by the way, if you want more context, Embiid had appendicitis, which
Okay.
you had.
And that's all fair. That's all that's all fair. Right. But if I'm watching these games play out, knowing what's going to happen, knowing that they're
I
going to
didn't want you to do
lose.
that. I was just telling you.
Oh,
I
okay.
came from the future. I went back. I came from the future and told you, Troy, this was going to happen. I'm future man. I'm future Chuck.
And I would have been like, okay, that's fine. But then as the future becomes the present and I watch the games play out, I would have got pissed off that we got blown out. We got swept by the Knicks and we got blown out by 30 plus points twice after getting blown out by 30 plus points against the Celtics twice.
Um, that's
That's where my
fair.
frustration
If
lies.
with all that context, yes, I think I would take that.
Mhm.
I think if future Troy came to see me at the beginning of the season and said, Chuck, listen, this is going to happen, dude. This is
Oh,
going to happen. Put all your money,
listen,
put all your money on the Sixers getting swept by the Knicks.
Speaking of money, I just realized that I bet the Sixers to win the championship this year. I just realized that I'm never gonna see that money.
Yeah, it's gone.
yeah,
It's gone, bro.
Side note. Side note.
It's gone
yeah, they
like
took
Kelly
they
Oubre.
took that cash. They took that cash is gone, fam. That cash
Yes,
is gone.
that's. I guess that's fair, but I think I would take that though, Troy. If you came and saw me, if future Troy came and saw me at the
Okay.
beginning of the season, and B's playing 38 games, they make the play in, 45 wins, they make the play in. What? We beat the Celtics?
Yeah.
We were down 3-1 and we came back to beat the Celtics? I don't even
Still
care.
feels
Don't even
like
tell me
a
what happened the
dream.
rest of the season.
For real.
Yeah.
I don't
Still
even care.
feels like a
dude.
dream.
Dude, raise the
No.
banner. Raise that banner of beating the Celtics. That's what I would say to future Troy.
All right. I have nothing to say to that.
Do
No,
you
you have
guys
anything? You have nothing about this game, right, Drew? About game 4?
The P on my hat says "fuck Boston."
Oh,
That's,
okay.
We got some
that's all I
editing to
can
do.
say.
so
No,
Chuck,
I'm
you talked
upset.
about
I'm upset
Go ahead.
because this is a reflection of what 2023. We won the first round, and then we lose to the Knicks.
they lost in the first round in that year to the Knicks.
That was the first. Wow.
Yeah.
But same
Yeah.
thing, same consequence. The freaking Knicks.
Same opponent.
The Knicks.
Do you guys think the Knicks are real title contenders this year?
Absolutely.
I think they have no excuse for not coming out of the East.
I guess the better question is, do you think they can beat a team like OKC or the Spurs in the finals?
I still think the OKC and the Spurs are a tier above them. More, you know what? The Spurs are on the same level as the Knicks to me. I think OKC is a tier above them. But to me, the one team that could beat OKC is the Spurs. because of Wemby.
I think the Knicks can be in that conversation easily.
Yeah,
I was super impressed by their defense, their offense, like this all around. I thought I was super impressed by them.
I will say this, and this is no knock against the Knicks, but they played two teams that, quite frankly, you could have made the case that neither of them really deserved to make the playoffs, right? They kind of snuck in. The Sixers kind of snuck in. The Atlanta Hawks were maybe 2 games from a play-in position.
Hold up, who did OKC? They're playing. Who they beat in the first round?
Just let me finish. I'm not saying they're cupcakes. I'm not saying Atlanta or the Sixers were cupcakes for the Knicks, but you could tell that they were proficiently better on both sides of the ball, coaching, everything. There is one team in the NBA who was breaking down doors to play the Knicks in the playoffs. They don't like the Knicks. They want to see the Knicks in the playoffs. They want to avenge. They want to avenge what happened to them last year, and that's Detroit. Now, Detroit can't score, but I will say this: Detroit has an ability to turn it up on defense, better than most teams. So, like, I hope Detroit wins, because I think if Cleveland wins, the Knicks are just going to run all over them too. But I would love to see that matchup, the Knicks and Detroit. So
yeah, I agree.
I think that'll be a much tougher matchup. I think it'll be a much tougher matchup than the Sixers and the Atlanta Hawks. But to your guys' point, the Knicks are playing very well. They're red hot. Everyone seems to know their role, and they bought into what Mike Brown is coaching. So yeah, they have a very good shot.
Hold on. Time out.
The Mike Brown. I'm not a fan of.
Okay. Do you think he's a good coach?
I don't know.
They're in the same spot they were with Tibbs, who you hated. They're in the same exact position as last year.
I didn't think that he was a good coach early in his career. Again, I think we talked about this before. When he was in Sacramento, I wasn't sure if he was a good coach. I think he won Coach of the Year, right? He elevated Sacramento to a certain point, and then all of a sudden, the wheels just fell off. So it just made me think, oh, it's just Mike Brown again. It's a good hire. Like what we wanted from Glenn Rivers when we fired Brett Brown, that's what he's done. Well, you know what? Hold on. Let me. Did the Knicks go to the Eastern Conference Finals last year?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll hold that thought until the Eastern Conference Finals is over. But he's supposed to take them a step further than that, than what Tibbs did. So I'll wait. Like right now, it's still up in the air.
Okay, I don't. I think he's going to go to the finals. I don't think he's a better coach than Tibbs. I think his play.
He's a different coach. He's a different coach.
I don't want to make this a players versus coach thing, but I do believe that
coaching matters.
I think you can throw Nick Nurse in there, and I think they've been in the same position.
No,
I think you can throw. I think you can throw.
Chuck, you can't throw Nick Nurse in. You can't throw Nick Nurse in there.
Fine. I think you can throw Dawn Staley in there, who interviewed for that job last year, and they would be in the same position. I don't think he's doing anything magical. I think he is. I think having people like
what
Brunson,
you know what he did. You know what he did that was magical, or not
magical. He's the same coach.
Okay, what you know what he did. You know what he did.
Ron Artest's interview about him. How him and Kobe used to punk him. And I know that was a long time ago, so I'm not going to hold that against him necessarily.
That's years ago. Kobe's did. Like, I'm talking about the here and now. What he did was he took the ball out of Brunson's hands and he put it in Towns' hands, and that opened up their offense. That's something that Tibbs would have never done. And also, Tibbs would have ran those guys in the ground the same way Nick Nurse ran the Sixers in the ground. That's the reason why I said Nick Nurse would have not gotten them to this point, because Brunson and Hart and Bridges and anybody else you want to think of they wouldn't have been as fresh as they are now. That's a fresh Knick team. Much more energy than they had
No.
last year during this time. You can't tell
How
me
is that?
that's not true because it is.
No. I think they're fresh because they've been beating teams in the playoffs. They had some time off. I wish Zach was here so he can look up the minutes
my
from
gosh.
last year
Chuck.
to this year. Like I
Chuck,
don't think
but-
they're playing less minutes. I can't
Chuck.
prove that. I'm gonna look it up later in the
He trusts basically
I
he
just
trusts
looked
his
it up.
bench. He trusts his bench a lot more than Tibbs did. And that during the course of the year, and that will make you a little bit fresher during the playoffs. That's all we've been talking about all year with the Sixers and Maxey
So
and
Jalen-
VJ playing 45 minutes a game.
Let me hear the numbers.
In the playoffs last year, Jalen Brunson averaged 37.8
No,
minutes played.
I meant during the season. They were blowing
He
teams
averaged
out in the
30
playoffs.
So he averaged 35 minutes played during the year last year. This year, 35.4. This year, Jalen Brunson averaged 30 minutes played. So around the same, but
No, that's
So
not the
5
same.
minutes
That's
less?
5 minutes. That's
Okay.
huge.
no,
Okay,
not
that's
5
huge.
minutes, Dad. He played 35 minutes both years, 35.4 and
Oh.
35.
Okay. And Towns and Bridges and Anunoby.
I think that's a myth with Tibbs. I really do. I think he has a bad reputation of like overplaying. He wins.
Chuck, you could say it's a myth, but if you watch the games, which you don't do, you don't watch the games. Like
Sure, the one-
Nick
the one coach I
fans,
like.
Nick fans will sit there
The
and
one
tell
coach
you
I like.
last year that they were playing too many minutes.
He's right, Chuck. The Knicks played. There's not a single Knick that played more than 35 minutes this year during the regular season. Last year, Jalen Brunson, Cat, OG, Mikal Bridges, and Josh Hart all averaged above 35 minutes per game. Mikal and Josh Hart played 37. OG played 36. Jalen
And they
and
were
Cat played 35.
all hurt by the end of the
They
year.
were- who they were hurt? Did I miss that? Did I
Injured.
miss that?
They were Anunoby was hurt.
He's always hurt. He was
Brunson,
hurt in Toronto.
Okay, but still, Brunson, Hart, Bridge, everybody has some type of issue.
Bridges never missed
Because
a
they
game
would
in
start-
his life.
They started breaking down. You don't have to believe me. Ask your Knicks fans. Ask your Knicks buddies
Okay.
what
I'm gonna
that
do
was
that.
about.
Maybe I'm wrong about that. And here's this is the last thing because I don't want to make this a whole Tibbs podcast. When you're like giving me minutes, like, is there an equation or a formula where you play more minutes that means you're going to lose? Like I understand. They played X amount of minutes. What
Are
does
you
that
an
mean?
athlete? You were an
But if you-
athlete, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't like I didn't want to come out the game. I didn't ever know Troy. When we were growing up, no one even like mentioned minutes. That wasn't even a stat.
Correct.
Chuck,
you didn't want
I-
to come out the game. Go ahead, Chuck. Go ahead, Colby.
I do think that Mike Brown has gotten more out of his bench this year than Tibbs has.
Gosh,
Because-
something else with these coaches. Mike Brown couldn't coach his way out
Like,
of a paper bag.
Remember
I
how
can't do it
Tibbs
with
made
Mike
the,
Brown.
but remember how Tibbs last in the playoffs, how the bench started to play well, but it was like they weren't playing all year, so it was kind of too late. Like Mike Brown has gotten a lot more out of his bench in the playoffs because they played more regularly during the season, and he
it's the
trusted
reason
them
why-
to play in
This
the
is
playoffs.
that's an interesting. So this is how, and Kobe, you are your dad's son. I can tell, which is fine. I don't know if I'm right. I don't know if you guys are wrong, and vice versa. I have no idea. But here's the way you're looking at it. Oh, Mike Brown is in the lab with them, making them better players. What I'm seeing is they're on a team. That bench is on a team with Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and they are practicing against them every day. They're watching them in the game. And even when they're in the game with those players, gravity gets them open shots. It's not Mike Brown. It's the fact that they're playing with these elite players that are not only playing with them, they're playing against them in practice. And
So
they're making
tell
them
me-
better because of that.
So
Mike Brown is
tell
not
me
in the
why.
lab, Oh, let's
So Chuck, to
Landry
your point.
Shamet, let's
To your point.
work on your game.
To your
That's not
point, Chuck.
happening.
Chuck, to your point. If that's the case, and you could be right, why isn't Quentin Grimes and Justin Edwards better playing against VJ
Because we-
and Tyrese Maxey?
I think VJ That's a good counterpoint, Troy. But I think VJ is better because he plays with Maxey. And Maxey, remember when Maxey at the pre-draft he showed up at VJ's pre-draft workout?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? And B didn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
That was, to me, that was the seed of Maxey being a leader and taking this guy under his wing. And if he played with anyone else, I don't think VJ would be as good. You're right about the Grimes thing. I can't really answer to that. He seemed to got worse during the season because he was playing well in the beginning of the season. He had a triple double at one point. He was getting points. Something happened. I don't know if he broke up with his girlfriend. I don't know what he had a birthday.
No, I'm not.
the other
I'm
day.
not
I
going
went
to
a party
excuse.
I don't
I'm
know
not
what's
going to
on.
excuse his bad play because he broke up with his girlfriend.
No.
Right?
I agree. I can't speak to Grimes, but I know Maxey. I know VJ is a better player because Maxey, from the moment they were working him out as a prospect, Maxey was there. And
Okay. Okay. That's great. Give me Grimes. Give me Justin Edwards. Give me anybody at the end of the bench.
I don't know.
Right? Paul George is there.
Is he?
Listen. You want to give all the credit to Maxey. VJ would give the credit to Paul George for his development.
If Mike Brown was our coach, you're saying that Grimes would be better?
No, I think if Grimes were not in the Sixer organization,
I agree.
and anywhere else,
if Grimes was on the bench of the Knicks and he
would be better.
Anunoby, Brunson, and playing against them and watching him in the game, I think it would be a better player.
I think that's the case. I think that's the case simply because
what did he say?
He was on the Knicks, but
Browns wouldn't get.
But Chuck,
never mind.
Chuck, I just think, and this is where your point comes in about anybody could have coached them. Any coach would have looked at that team last year. Any coach coming in would have looked at that team last year and said, and talked to the players and be like, all right, the key for me here is to limit their minutes during the regular season so they could be fresher during the playoffs, right?
I would love,
and it's
I would love
simple. And you're right. Dawn Staley could have did the same thing. You and I could have did the same thing. But still, he's the one that put the ball in Cat's hand at the top of the key and then had all those actions around there.
Yeah.
Right.
Cat
so
I'll give you tons of credit for that. Like
Cat and Chuck, he didn't do that all year long. Early on, it was the Brunson show. It's Brunson. You take 50 shots and everybody else takes 13. He did that late in the year, or even in these playoffs, he started to do that, right? That's a good coaching move.
I'll give you that. And this is the thing. I know Noah has his hand raised. And maybe it's me. Maybe I never really had a good coaches never. And again, I'm a terrible comparison. I never played in the NBA, obviously, but I never got better from a coach. You know, I got better, Troy. I was at 32nd in York and playing. Shout out to North Philadelphia, but playing basketball with those guys. That's how I got better at basketball. Not because I'm a coach. I was playing against old men who were really, really good. They were old to me. They were probably like 19 years old, but they were really good.
But that's individual. That's as an individual. Like, you got better on your own. A coach still has a job of making his team better and having you fit in with the other players that are on your team that you're going to be playing with. His job is to make all of you guys cohesive. That's fair. And a lot of coaches can't do that.
That's fair. And I will give you Cat looks like baby Jokic right now. Like he is.
He's playing his best basketball.
Yeah, he's
some of his best basketball right now.
And he doesn't have to score 20 points, 25 points, 30 points. He's playing a good all-around game.
It does seem like Mike Brown has unlocked something in Cat that maybe other coaches have not. But I am going to continue to push back on the fact that I don't know if playing more minutes equals a doom and gloom. Like, I don't know.
So let's say we bring Nick Nurse back next year.
We're going to get to Noah's point first.
I'm sorry, Noah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Noah. Because we're starting to lose Noah over there. I want to make sure we get his point.
Well, I wanted to comment on.
Get closer to the mic.
I wanted to comment on you guys talking about, like, the Knicks, like the difference between Mike Brown and Thibodeau, like it's not like I don't think he's that much better of a coach than Thibodeau. I just think the Knicks upgraded their bench in the offseason. Like a team that wants to contend will do. Some GMs don't want to do that. They want to sell at the deadline
Oh, you talking
instead.
about Landry Shamet?
I'm talking about Jordan Clarkson. I'm talking about Landry Shamet. He just dropped 20 points against us. When
I'm
was the
just
last
saying,
time
they were
When's the last time a player off the Sixers bench got
okay.
20 points?
First of all, calm down and stop talking so fast. They were like got off the scrap heap. There wasn't like. But go ahead.
They what? I don't know. I don't remember what my other point was. It was a while ago.
You were saying yeah. So they upgraded their bench.
Yeah, the teams that are serious about contending, they upgrade their bench, and they don't just spend all their money on 3 players and sign everyone to minimums.
Yeah, that's how you can't. He's right. Like, and we're going to get into Daryl Morey and Josh Harris and all that stuff. But what Noah's saying, he's correct.
Troy, if we would have signed Landry Shamet and Jordan, I'm not dissing them because they killed us yesterday. But if Sixers would have signed an offseason, you would have burnt the building down.
No. You know what? If the Sixers would have signed Jose Alvarado at the trade deadline,
yeah, good
I would have been okay with that.
Yeah,
that's a move that you should have made. Perfect guy.
Yeah, he would have been perfect.
Right, but going back to no. Did you have anything else?
Well, yeah, Dad, you keep bringing up this do you think the Knicks players are better because they practice with Jalen Brunson more? Like, do you really think how much better do you think these guys are really getting in practice? I think these guys they're getting better. They're getting better in the offseason.
I don't care what you guys. You can't talk me into. Troy actually had a really good point about the whole cat thing.
I didn't mention Mike Brown.
Other than that, I'm not. Mike Brown is Mike Brown. He's not someone.
I know. Listen. I don't think he's like a huge upgrade over Tibbs. I just think he's different than Tibbs. Right. That team needed something a little bit different as far as how they approach their offense. Remember, early in the season, defensively they weren't that good. Early in the season, and I don't know what changed, but they've stepped it up defensively. He had a good game plan for Maxey. He had a good game plan for running the offense through Cat. Listen, Boston didn't. Maxey was hurt in the Boston series. They didn't press Maxey at all. They let Maxey come up and do what he wanted to do. The same way we let Brunson do what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
But go ahead, son.
Go ahead. Hold up.
Tyree.
Noah, finish your thought.
I don't remember.
Well, remember.
So
go ahead, son.
So Maxey said something interesting in the post game. He was talking about how his injury, his finger, and how during the season there was a stretch where he jammed it, and for a week it was just, I think it was a week they played Washington, Miami, and Detroit. It was towards the end of the season. And he said it was just nothing. It was straight pain. Like it hurt constantly. And he said that in game 2 of the Knicks series, he jammed it. He said that he was getting better after the play-in and got better throughout the playoffs. And then he jammed it game 2 against the Knicks. And then it was feeling like how it did during the season in those past few games in game 3 and game 4. So,
and I remember when he jammed it because he was sitting on the floor in the Knicks bench and he was just bouncing a little bit, bouncing his hand. And he sat there for a little bit longer than, normally he would just get right up, but you could tell he was hurt. But Chuck, going back to if Nick Nurse returns, going back to the minutes thing, if Nick Nurse returns and he has Maxey playing 45 minutes a game again, and they go to the playoffs and Maxey's not himself, you don't think that has anything to do with the amount of minutes that he plays during the year? You don't think that's going to affect the playoffs? Paul George at 36 years old was playing 43 minutes, and he said it himself. I have to play. I'm going to play my best players. That's a Tibbs quote. That means I don't even want to take you guys out for a minute. I don't want that type of coach. I do not want that type of coach. If for nothing else, that is the one reason why I would not bring Nick Nurse back. Nick Nurse is not the main cause for the reason why we're out of the playoffs right now. He's not. He's a symptom, but he's not the main cause. You could convince me to bring him back if you said he's like Maxey's going to have a cap of 35 minutes per night. Paul George is going to have a max of 30 minutes per night, and he's going to have to play these bench players, and he's going to have to develop them. He is not that type of coach.
I know you're talking to the group, Troy.
I am.
But okay, because I could care less if he goes back.
Oh,
I don't care. He can come.
But I'm just saying it's the minutes thing. Like that's
okay, yeah. Tibbs got to the Eastern Conference. If he ran Max into the ground and they got these Eastern Conference Finals this year, okay.
No. See, but that's the difference between you and me. I wouldn't be okay because I'd be like, if you didn't run Max into the ground and he had more energy, we'd be in the championship round right now. Right? If you lose because your players are running to the ground, that is coaching malpractice.
So here's, and I'm curious, and me and Noah talked about this a little bit. I hope Noah engaged. I can tell he's kind of mad at me for some reason, but I hope he engages. Here's the way. I don't care about Nick Nurse. He can go or not go. After I thought we all agreed that the Sixers played really well in Game 2 of the next series. I know I'm kind of going back to this, but this has a lot to do with the season as well. I thought the Sixers played really well. They could have won that game. We had a podcast after that. Maybe if Nurse did a couple things. Maxey wasn't 100%, but he did a couple things. Maybe Sixers could have won that game. I'm willing to admit that. Like I'm not dissing all coaches. I just don't think they have the impact of that most people think they do.
Okay.
So Embiid comes back for Game 3. The game starts out decent. It's a weird game. There's a lot of energy in the game. You can tell. I felt like Knicks and Sixers fans were fighting in the stands. It was just tons of energy. But the Sixers kept it close. Like the first half of the first quarter, it was like a close game. Then Embiid goes on this emotional explosion.
Yeah, it hurt him.
Yeah, he has this outburst with Cat. Like he's just playing like just with this weird energy, negative energy. I don't think the Sixers were never the same after that. To me, after like that moment, they were never the same.
Well, I mean, they still went up. They still went up by 14, I think, after that moment. Yeah, because Paul George was on a heater, so they still went up there, and they went up with after those two VJ alley-oops. We were up by I think the score was like 20 to 9, something like that.
Well, maybe, but after the first quarter, I remember turning to Noah and I said, "Man, the Sixers seem to be playing their hearts out, but they're only up by like 7 points after the first quarter. So they might have took a lead, a big double-digit lead, and then it got short.
The Knicks came back. The Knicks cut it.
Yeah. So I remember turning and saying that, man, it seemed like a lot of energy, and they're only up 7. It doesn't feel good to me. It just seems like the Sixers and every team, you take the personality of your best player. And because of Embiid's size and his reputation and just he has this using Noah word, an aura about him. He's the leader of the team, unfortunately. And you're going to see when they play, they go to him a lot.
I do believe that they went to him more during this playoffs because of Maxey. Man, Maxey was just like, he was tired, and it's like, listen, if you're here, like we got you back, big fella. We'll feed you. You started, I'll finish it.
Yep, I totally get that. But from that, to me, that moment on, they got blown. That moment, they got blown out. Yeah. Every game, every moment after that. and we talked about this in the past. This is an overview of the season. I think it's hard to coach to build a team when your best player not only just plays 38 games, but also you don't know when he's playing in those 38 games. So no one, the Knicks look so just fluid and together as one. It's because they play together. Not only they play like they play together. And the Sixers, and again, Maxey was hurt. I get it. Nick Nurse didn't use the bench,
But
and I'm not blaming Embiid necessarily because no player wants to get hurt, and he did come back. He didn't have to come back from the surgery, and he did. I give him a lot of credit for that. But he just doesn't play enough games. And when he does play, it's so sporadic. I don't think the team could get into a groove. And it would be hard to coach a team like that as we talk about coaching. Once again, I'm not blaming him for the injuries, but it's just hard to coach and build a team when your best player is not reliable. So, yeah, we can switch coaches. But if Embiid plays 38, 40 games next year, it's going to be, to me, a similar result. I don't know what this first round pick's going to look like, but
to me, like for me, and let me make this very clear. I would like to see Nurse gone. I would like a new coach, but before I want to see Nurse gone, Morey has to go. If Nurse is going, then Morey has to go. I do not want to see Morey here without Nurse. They're a package deal at this point for me.
Probably they should. The Nurse's name. Yeah, I don't think you could bring in a GM with who
and have him not pick his own coach. You can't do it.
Yeah.
But to me, like it's not Nurse. Like this roster wasn't Nurse's problem. It was Morey's problem. Like it's hard. Like you're right. It is hard to coach a team when your best player is only playing 30 games. But it's not like it's going to be a surprise that your best player is only going to play 30 to 40 games. That's no surprise. Everyone knows that. So build a team around that. If that's your best player and you want them fresh for the playoffs and you're going to save them, you need to build a better team to withstand the regular season and to help out during the playoffs. And Daryl Morey never did that. He didn't do it.
Who does that? Like
he didn't do it.
Who would you describe? What team does that?
I'm just saying, Chuck. Like I don't care what other teams do. This is our situation. This is what we have to deal with. You have to do a better job of dealing with this situation, and he's done a piss poor job of dealing with the situation. He's taken quality players off the team.
Can I ask you? So let's just talk about that real quick. And again, I can see Noah. I need Noah engaged because I really want his thoughts. Because I talked about Embiid. I want him to know his thoughts about the Embiid thing. It's nothing to do. I'm not saying you're upset or anything. I just want to know your thoughts. Good Lord. He traded McCain, which was a horrible move. But is anyone looking at Josh Harris with not only with the McCain move, but also with the Embiid contract? First of all, remember that ESPN article that came out last summer about that lengthy article?
Mm-hmm.
Something that stuck in my mind was how when Embiid was talking about his injuries and he was frustrated with like management and the training staff, so he went right to Josh Harris about an issue. I was like, wow. Daryl Morey just gave you like $300 million, and you were like bypassing him, go to the owner. Okay, well, whatever. It seems like if Daryl Morey like took some truth serum, I think he would say, listen, I didn't want to sign him to that money, but he's friends with the owner, and maybe the owner made him do it. Same thing with the luxury tax. Like, there's no benefit for the salary cap if up or down if you pay a tax or don't pay a tax. It had to come from the owner. He's the only one benefiting from them.
Correct.
Getting
You're
under
right.
the tax.
You're right.
Now,
Did you
don't
have
get
to
me
trade?
wrong. Morey, he didn't have to trade McCain.
Thank you. Thank you.
He didn't have to trade McCain, but he's the only asset that he can probably, if he traded Drummond, he would have to attach something to that. If he traded Lowry, he would have to attach something to that.
So what? So you want to attach a second round pick, right? Attach Janai Broom, who couldn't get on the freaking court. Attach him. Like if you're gonna use your second round pick on Janai Broom, no knock on Janai Broom. No knock on shout out to Janai Broom. If you're gonna do that and don't play him, then what's the second round pick worth?
He's also coming off a major injury this season. Janai Broom.
Again, what is the second round pick worth at this point in time? To get out of Drummond's contract, and a second round pick, and I get to keep Jared McCain, who's 20 years old, who's almost rookie of the year if he stayed healthy. That's easy. That's easy money for me. I'm taking that money.
Maybe there was no takers. I don't know. I think he saw, hey, I can get under the tax per my owner, because we can all agree that Daryl Morey made it. He didn't benefit at all from that. I could get under the tax and get some assets if I trade this person.
Let me ask you a question. He didn't benefit, but he actually shot himself in the ass also by saying we sold high on him. So you know what? I don't know if it was all if it was well, I know for a fact it wasn't Josh Howard saying you got to get rid of Jared McCain. That was just Daryl Morey being Daryl Morey. That's all that was.
Hold up. You don't think it was Josh Harris to tell him to get under the tax?
I said it was Josh Harris that told him to get under the tax.
Okay.
But him trading McCain was all Daryl Morey.
Yes, that I agree.
That was all Daryl Morey.
I think again, I can't get in his head, but he's probably thinking, okay, if any other player, I would have to attach something to it. But if I trade this player, I can get under the tax and also get something back. So I kind of understand the rationale. I don't agree with it.
Right, and the fact that he said that we sold high on him lets me know that he possibly could have got a better draft pick out of OKC if he thought more highly of Jared McCain. OKC could have gave us a better draft pick. They had 1 million of them.
Maybe.
If he thought more highly of him, he has to go.
Okay, which fine. I don't. If you bring in a GM, he's going to once again take the orders of Josh Harris. Fine. Like it's.
He has to go too.
Okay, that's not happening.
Add him to the list.
Yeah, it'd be nice, but he's not going anywhere. So I don't think I like Daryl Morey. I would rather have Morey make this draft pick.
Why?
And
I think why you want to? So you make the draft pick and then take a leave of absence for 9 years? Is that what you want to tell him to do? I want him going. I don't want him anywhere near the draft pick.
Here's the deal, and I'm waiting. I need some response from Noah as well. Sam Presti. It must have took how long has he been out? 20 years before he won a championship in Oklahoma City. You know why? Because they're not like Oklahoma City fans having a podcast screaming for him to be fired. It's not a crazed lunatic area like Philadelphia is. Who
I don't have 20 years.
Patience.
I don't have another 20 years. I don't have another 20 years.
Which is fine. I think 20 years is outrageous. Don't get me wrong. But how about we have some?
You have another 50.
How about having another?
Okay,
how about we have some stability?
I don't want to take another 50 years with Daryl Morey. I don't want to do it.
He needs more than what is his 5th year?
He doesn't need more. He did see. Listen, he does not need more than it's his 6th year. This is his 6th year. Year number 6 for Daryl Morey. He does not need any more time.
Okay, which is fine. I think good teams have some stability. They just do.
But to me, that comes from Josh Harris down.
Okay.
Josh Harris is he comes from he has a Wall Street background. He takes distressed assets and he flips them and he increases their value. It's the same thing he did with the Sixers. At the time, they were a distressed asset, and he built them up. He's got a lot of value right now. I think with him, it's always going to be about money more than anything else, because that's the life he has. That's the life he leads. That's his business. So he's not in this to really win a championship for the next 6 out of 7 years. Like if you and I owned, if any one of us owned the Sixers, and we had an abundance of money, we wouldn't really care how much money we would spend just to win a championship. I know I wouldn't. If I own the Sixers, I'm doing everything I can to win a championship within the financial parameters. Right? I'm ducking in. The Knicks are $44 million over the tax. You think they care right now?
Yeah, but are you saying James Dolan is a better human being than Josh Harris?
No, I'm talking. Listen, Josh Harris is in the Epstein file, so he might be a slightly better human being than Josh Harris.
Slightly.
Okay, slightly. So
I'm sure
listen,
James Dolan
is an asshole. He's a jackass too.
He's not
right. But you know what he did? He hired basketball people and he stepped out of the way. And ever since he did that, because guess what? James Dolan would have never given Jalen Brunson that contract at the time, right? Everybody thought that the Knicks overpaid for him, except the Knick brass, minus James Dolan.
Yeah.
If James Dolan would still had his hands in the Knicks would still be trash.
Listen, getting back to, but they have stability. Getting back to Daryl, if you want to fire him, that's fine. But here's the deal, young boys, listen to me. Go to Troy's Twitter. Go back about 10 years. He's
was I on Twitter for 20 years?
Go back about 10 years, and he's probably asking Brett. He's probably screaming to get Brett Brown fired.
I was.
Yeah.
Brett Brown, Doc Rivers,
and now Nick Nurse,
Brian Colangelo. Go down
Colangelo,
the line.
Which I was on board
Everybody.
with that. Everybody. And if we get a new head coach and a GM, I give it 2 more years, and Troy's gonna be asking for them to be fired again.
No,
I'm just asking for some stability.
Here's the thing.
I agree with that, Chuck.
I will always give the GMs and the coaches enough rope to hang themselves. Always.
Hold up. Shout out to Victor. He's in the chat right now. He's a Knicks fan.
What's up, Victor?
Victor, he just sent us a message.
I will always give them enough rope to hang themselves. But when that rope comes to an end, they got to go. They have to go.
Yeah, listen. I'm fine. I can kind of get behind it. But who will be like who's this coach? Like who's this GM and coach that's out there? Fine, we get a Daryl Morey. I think he's a good talent evaluator. I think he's a good drafter. I like the way he thinks.
Daryl Morey. Chuck, let me ask you a question about Daryl Morey.
No.
Do you think?
Who?
Let me ask you a question.
Replace him?
Let me ask you a question before I get into that. Do you think the NBA has passed Daryl Morey by? Today's NBA.
I think they caught up. I don't think they passed him by.
You think they caught up?
He brought analytics to the NBA.
Right. And so he brought analytics, 3-point shots, and layups. And now he has a team that he constructed with no 3-point shooters. All right. Other teams, they have 3-point shot, 3-point shooters. They can make layups. But I want you to think about the last couple NBA champions and what they have. There's Boston Celtics and OKC.
You know what they had, Troy? Stability.
What? You know what else they had? You know what else they had?
What?
They had players that could go into the mid range and score at a high level, right? They also played 9 to 10 players every night during the playoffs. Quality minutes.
I'm not giving you Boston.
None of them had what? Like I'm trying to tell you that the NBA has passed his way of thinking by. Yes, he brought in analytics and all that stuff. That's great. It has passed him by now. And he's still stuck there. He's still stuck at the 3-star max contracts. And then everybody else gets a minimum. That's never going to win a championship anymore. It's not. Or if it does, it's going to win a championship 50 years from now.
I don't think throwing money at the problem. I think there's value in finding. Landry Shamet makes $3 million. Like,
okay,
Deuce McBride, who's like Vinnie Johnson,
he makes $2 million. Right. But what's your point? Drummond makes $5 million.
My point is, like, it sounds like you want them to spend money on.
I would have loved. Listen, and this is no knock against Paul George, because Paul George played great as far as I'm concerned in the playoffs. Yeah, he had a couple of bad games late, but you know what? He got us through that Boston series. I thought he was the MVP. It's no knock against Paul George. I didn't want Paul George, not because of the player, but because you're going to spend all that money on one guy when you know, based on the last year that you had to fill out a bench. So why spend all that money? And Chuck, you always say, well, Troy, you had to spend the money somewhere. I agree, but you didn't have to spend the money all in one place. Fill out a bench.
You know who wanted Paul George? Embiid. Do you
Chuck?
Remember
you know what?
You remember?
You know who didn't want Dennis Rodman?
That was going viral after the Boston series.
You know who did not want Dennis Rodman? Michael Jordan. They still got him though. But my point is this: I don't care what the players want. If you're a smart GM and you know how to build a team, you're going to build a team. Sometimes you know better than the players do, right? It's the same thing. Like you and I, we don't want to come out of a game playing 48 minutes, right? I still want to play. No, the coach has to say, dude, you're tired. Sit your ass down. You're tired. You don't think you're tired, but you're coming up short on all your free throws. You're coming up short on all your jumpers. Come sit down for 5 minutes.
Def would certainly be nice on the Sixers team. Def would certainly be nice on the Sixers team. I think stability would as well. No, I want to ask you a question. Joel Embiid had some interesting comments after the game. He said that his knee has felt the best that it's felt in a long time. He didn't really worry about it throughout the playoffs, and it was really only the oblique and maybe the ankle and the hip things that he's been dealing with. I mean, when you think about looking ahead, just after getting eliminated, the off season, he's not going to have to worry about recovering from a surgery. He's going to pretty much have a full off season to just take care of these little things that are bothering him, but really ramp up and get ready for the season. How confident are you in Embiid maybe having one of his best years next year that we've seen in a while, because he's not coming off a major knee surgery in the off season?
I'll believe it when I see it. I'm not.
Dang, I thought you were gonna. Anymore. I thought you were the biggest Embiid supporter. I thought you were gonna be all behind that.
George said something.
I've never seen him healthy ever in my life. So why would it happen at age 33 in year 13?
I mean, he did win MVP. He was healthy that year. Won MVP in a little sport.
And
but
then he missed a couple games in the playoffs.
Right. Yeah, Kobe, that's a fair point.
Kobe, Troy, your dad said something interesting in a chat the other day. I think it was Saturday. He said if Embiid asked for how'd you put it, Troy?
If he asked for a trade, would you? Did I say would you be upset at it, or do you think he would ask for a trade? Like, listen, the bottom line is if he would have asked for a trade, I don't want to trade Embiid. I don't. And I don't think the Sixers can trade Embiid at this point in time, right? Like, he's got a crazy contract and he's only going to play 30 games. There's not a team outside of maybe Golden State who if they can't get Giannis, they'd be like, all right, we're going to give Steph one more shot at it. Let's get Embiid in here. Right? I don't think it's going to happen. But if he asks for a trade, I wouldn't blame him.
No, I don't think you can blame him. I think he's put his body on the line too many times for us, and like a lot of the failures that we've had doesn't start with him.
It does start with him.
Kobe.
I mean,
you can't
no.
You can't say it doesn't start with him. Not all of our failures have started with him, but there were some key failures that did start with him. Like, I've never been more disappointed in him than that Boston series with him and Harden in Game 6. Game 6 and Game 6 broke me. That game broke me as a Sixer fan, right? And I've never been more disappointed in him. Yeah. And I've always been disappointed in Harden, but I was very disappointed in him because I believe after that series he said that, well, me and James can't do it by ourselves. And I'm like, dude, like, you had the ball in your hands and key moments and you taking shots that you make a million times and you didn't make it. Like, it's and all the turnovers that he had in Game 7 against Atlanta. Like, listen, and he's owned up to all of it. He really has. But like, I'm not going to say that it hasn't always started with him.
And I think if their problems, like, they've had problems that aren't Joel Embiid that have pretty much derailed this franchise.
Correct.
So I mean,
correct.
Like, we would have never been in that Boston series if not for him. So
correct.
I think if he were to ask for a trade, then he's done right by us enough. You gotta kind of honor that request.
Yeah. But this is Kobe's statement was interesting. I'm not saying you were wrong, Kobe, but sometimes I think Embiid doesn't get enough of the heat. I'm not blaming, like I said, he came back when he didn't have to, and no one would have blamed him if he didn't come back. But it seems like the Philly fans, and again, this is just what I'm listening to sports radio, and listen to podcasts and watching YouTube today. Because there's no like Ben Simmons to blame or Toby to blame or James Harden to blame. People are now like, let's fire Daryl Morey. Let's fire the coach.
I don't.
And I'm saying, Troy, not only is we couldn't trade Embiid. It's impossible to trade him.
Right.
No one's taking that.
Right.
I think what the likely scenario may happen, they may do what Milwaukee did with Dame and release him and stretch his contract out. I think that's more likely than him being traded. My point is, I don't think Embiid takes enough of the responsibility of like this franchise not reaching his potential. And I know he's been hurt. No one wants to get hurt. But I think when he was younger, and Troy, you remember this, he didn't take care of his body like he should have. There was a lot of like Chick-fil-A deliveries.
No, I thought that was Markelle Fultz. That was
definitely.
No, Embiid had the Shirley Temples.
He had Shirley Temples to at Chick-fil-A. I'll send you the audiobook that I have.
Okay, all right.
This. He didn't take care of his. And listen, I love Chick-fil-A too, but I ain't playing for the Sixers, so I just don't think I want him to take a little bit. Like I said, I think the fan base is just fine because they don't have a scapegoat like Tobias Harris. They're going after.
I don't know what.
I see a lot of people going after Maxey too and Embiid.
Yeah, listen, I don't know what your timeline is like, and I don't know what radio station you listen to, but they go after Embiid all the time. I hear people going after Embiid all the time, dude. He does not get a pass in this town.
I think
He does not.
Yeah, you're probably right. I guess I'm talking about I feel like this year because he came back from the surgery, that he's getting a little bit of grace, as he should probably.
As he should. As he
But
should.
this going back what I said before, it's hard to build a team, to coach a team and build a team as a GM when your best player making $60 million plays 38 games.
Yeah.
And then you don't know when he's going to play. And he has a tight relationship with the owner.
Chuck, it is hard. It is hard to do. But it's life. Life is hard. We all have to jump over hurdles. Hurdles come out of nowhere on all of us, right? And we have to figure out a way to get around those hurdles, get over those hurdles and around the potholes, right? His job is he gets paid a lot of freaking money to do a hard job. And he's done a piss poor job of it.
I want some stability. And I think Daryl Morey could give us. If you want to give it a nurse, that's fine.
You know what? I want stability also. I do not want it with Daryl Morey. He's already proven that he does not know how to build a championship caliber roster. He proved it in Houston, and he proved it here. So you're saying he's been here for 6 years, but he's been a GM for how long? He's been a GM for a damn long time, and he's won nothing.
By the way, we need to get Victor on the pod. He's a Knicks fan. But
speaking of
hold up, just lastly, Cope. Any of you guys, do you have let's say, okay, they get rid of Daryl Morey. Does Josh Harris have someone in a pipeline that you're comfortable with that's going to take over for him?
I have no idea.
But you're comfortable with Josh Harris. It'll probably be
Bob Myers. Bob Myers making the decision, right? So
It's
Bob
not
Myers
like
may have somebody. He may have somebody in mind already.
But it's not like he was a great GM either.
No, you're right. And listen, for me, if I'm running this thing, I'm taking a look at Boston. Boston made 2 hires that I'm pretty sure that the fans of Boston were like, "What the F are you guys doing?" And that's with Brad Stevens, and then doing it again with Joe Mazzulla, right?
Yeah.
I look at San Antonio's coach. It's a young guy. I look at OKC's coach. It's a young coach. It's not a retread. If it's me, I'm going with some young, up and coming talent, and I'm gonna let them grow. That's the stability that I want. Sam Presti was a young guy from Boston. He goes to OKC. He has stability because he's a young guy, right? I don't want to retread. Give me, you know what? If I had my druthers, and I don't know if he wants to coach or not, I'd probably hire Rondo as my coach.
Or
yeah, I'm talking about both. But I'm going to the coach right now. I'd probably hire Rondo. Rondo's one of the highest IQ players I've ever seen.
I've heard that. But didn't he go to jail for something?
No, Rajon Rondo. He's coaching his sons. He's coaching his son's AAU team or something.
I'm gonna look that.
Give me that
I
guy.
in jail for something.
I can just foresee all the fights he would get into with players.
That's fine. But you know what? Sometimes players need that. They need somebody to get up in their ass and be like, "Yo, listen to what I'm saying. You're not doing right. This is how we do it. You don't like it? Go home."
All right.
That would be interesting. What's also interesting is what the Sixers are going to do with the roster going into next year. I want to go just up and down a little bit. We talked about Embiid. I want to see him back. Maxey said something interesting too after the game. He talked a lot about Justin Edwards and Bona and VJ and Barlow and how it's so important that they all stayed close throughout the year and how they want to build that stability and that camaraderie moving forward. They want to keep those guys getting playoff experience, and he really thinks it's going to benefit them. How excited are you guys to see like some of those young players, especially VJ, like next year? And I think it's really important that they all stay together. The young guys that got burned in these playoffs, like even Bona, I do want to see how this makes Edwards better next year. How important do you think it is that they have that stability with the roster next season?
I'm going to say this until I'm 6 feet under. By the way, I have a Rondo's rap sheet.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
I don't need his rap sheet. I don't care about his rap sheet. I think he would be a good coach.
Those our young players need to go somewhere and play better players to get better. I'm gonna like die on that hill. Bona can't play with who was our second round pick this year? Broom, and get better. It's not gonna happen. Like they need. It's either like playing in the summer league, going overseas, being on an Olympic trial team, do something. I want them either. They just need to like play better players, because the best player in the team is not around for them to get better. Noah had his hand up.
So to your question, Colby, Embiid, he's not going anywhere, right? They can't get rid of his contract even if they wanted to. So he's coming back. Maxi's going to come back. VJ's going to come back. Paul George, if you can get off that contract, I would definitely do it. I don't have a problem with him coming back, but I think it's probably more important for the franchise to get off that money.
Even if to get off the money, they're going to give up something. You comfortable?
Huh?
To get off that money, they have to.
They get okay. I'll give you a 20, 30 second round draft pick. Like, I don't know. Like,
Jokic,
what do you
Jokic
want?
with the
What do you
second
want?
round draft pick.
It could be a first round draft pick. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
But I would be okay. I'm okay with him either going or staying. But to me, the money is more important than having him on a team, because you know he's going to be 36. How many more good years does he have left in him? He's not LeBron James. So Kelly Oubre, I've been saying all year I want him gone.
I know, you're so awful. He's gone.
But you know what I would rather see? I would like to see the Sixers bring in somebody. All right, so Giannis is gone, right? Like Milwaukee Bucks just came out today and said we're fielding trade offers for Giannis. Point blank. That means that everybody else in their roster is probably up for grabs. Bring in Bobby Portis as my 4. Paul George as my 3 if he's going to stay. VJ and Maxey in the backcourt. That moves Kelly Oubre down to the bench. That moves Barlow down to the bench. We have a better bench now. The only thing you're missing is a true point guard, a backup point guard for this team. And then I might be all in again.
Is Grimes on this team?
Grimes is nowhere near Philadelphia anymore. He's nowhere near Philly. Grimes is in Brazil. Justin Edwards, I understand what Maxey is saying, but Justin Edwards has been here for how many years? It's his 3rd year?
Next year will be his 3rd year. He's a young dude. So hold on.
He's young. I want him to get better. I want him to get better. Drum is gone. Janai Broom is gone. Give me some other guys. Kyle Lowry's out.
Why is Janai Broom gone?
I don't think he's an NBA player. Like I wanted him when he was falling in the second round. I was like, I'll take a flyer on him. But Kobe, you and I had this talk when he was in college. I was like, I don't see him translating to the NBA. I just didn't see it translated, and listen, Kobe, you said he's been injured. Okay, but like he really didn't.
He tore his ACL in February. He tore his ACL in February.
This like, past February or the February before?
No, this past February.
Yeah.
And
but before that, what did you see that says this guy's he's a future NBA player?
They didn't play him.
Kobe, he played early in the season. Janai Broom played early in the season.
I don't remember him playing. He played in the preseason.
He got minutes. The man got minutes.
He played 2 games.
He got minutes, but like there was nothing.
4 minutes each game. What is that going to show us?
It doesn't take all day to recognize that, okay, this guy, he's not, but it's the same thing from college. He wasn't quick. He's not athletic. He doesn't have a jumper. Like,
Yeah.
He does.
It doesn't take all day.
He was like a 6-year senior, so wasn't he?
On top of that, he's like 30 years old. Like, I don't need to see him. If you want to bring him back, fine. You want to bring him back, fine.
Troy,
I'm not going to kill it.
Give me that starting lineup again you had.
Just gonna give me
Embiid,
after 1 year.
Bobby Portis, PJ, VJ, Maxey. If you keep that means you're bringing Oubre and Barlow off the bench. You have Justin Edwards.
I don't think Oubre's coming back.
Who?
I don't think Oubre's coming back. Maybe.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like, again, I don't mind Kelly Oubre not as a starter playing 30 minutes. That's not his role. If Kelly Oubre is a starter playing 30 minutes on your team, you are not a championship caliber team.
Yeah.
No knock on Kelly, but it's just the way it is. But if you bring him off the bench and say, Oubre, just go at it, give me 14 points in 20 minutes, like you'll get your shots off. He could do that.
Yeah.
He could do that. Like what he did in what game was it? 3? Or game 2 he went off. Against the Knicks.
Game 2.
Game 3.
20...
No, game 3 he had 20. Yeah.
Okay.
He could have did that off the bench. I'm looking at him playing. I'm like, yeah, like he started, but he could have easily done this off the bench too.
Yeah, I like that. I liked when you had mentioned bringing him off the bench, starting like Barlow. Is Barlow on the team next year?
Yeah,
what happened to young boys? What do you guys think? Noah, Cole, who's on the team next year?
Yeah,
get it.
I mean, I definitely think you bring back all those young guys that got minutes, like obviously Maxey, VJ, Adem, Justin, Dominic. I would like to see those 5 guys back. I don't need to see Quentin Grimes back. But yeah, like those 5 guys I think are gonna be pillars for the culture moving forward, as Maxey was indicating. So I would love to see all those guys back, and I would love to see how this playoff run is gonna make them better for next year.
Kobe, every time you say culture, I want to take my computer and toss it out the window. Every time. I haven't told Noah when the Washington Wizards got the first pick, I was like, watch. In 2 years, the Marshalls are going to be like, wow, look at that culture in Washington.
Two things can be true. You can have top, but wait, can you agree, Chuck?
Look at this great coaching, and you guys are going to forget that they tanked. Just like you forgot that the Spurs tanked and Oklahoma City tanked.
So, like, when I think about culture, go ahead, son. I'm sorry. Go ahead, son. Go.
I was just gonna say, can't two things be true? Can't you have top draft picks and talent and still have great chemistry, have great locker room vibes, have
fine. As long as you meant that the culture was, let's lose for a few years, get young players through the draft, and when those young players mature and get better, we're going to start winning. As long as you meant that that's the culture, that's fine. But I don't want to hear like, oh, they did the right things. Get out of here with that.
Well, so you don't care if your team
Washington. I could feel it from you too.
But Chuck, what you just said, the Sixers did, right?
Yep.
Did they make the right moves?
At the time, I thought they were.
No, it's not at the time. Did they make the right moves?
When Ben Simmons was drafted, did you want Jaylen Brown or Ben Simmons?
I wanted Ben Simmons. And it turned out to be the wrong move. My whole point is, Chuck,
Fultz was drafted. Did you want Fultz?
Yeah, one of Fultz too. Wrong move. I'm not the GM. I am not the GM. It is the GM's job. It's a hard job. It's the GM's job to recognize, you know what? Ben Simmons is a bit of a flake. Maybe I should take this Jaylen Brown kid instead. Maybe. Hold on. Hold on.
Those moves was Morey's picks.
I don't give a shit that it was a Morey. It's the GM.
No, but you just said you.
I didn't say Morey. Wasn't even thinking about Morey. I'm not talking about Morey.
Okay, let me hear your culture. I'm sorry. Good.
Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz. He can't shoot straight. Maybe I shouldn't pick this guy. Maybe I should go in a different direction.
First play that comes to your head.
Here's the thing. When I think about culture, and I'm going to say this team, and it's going to drive you nuts. The Spurs, fine. They had David Robinson. They had Tim Duncan. Who's drafting Tony Parker? Who's drafting Manu Ginobili? Who's drafting Kawhi Leonard?
Good point.
Right? They did the same thing the Sixers did, and they tanked, and they got the big fish, but they had the wherewithal to surround the big fish with some very good smaller fish.
And Chuck,
we didn't have that. We didn't have that.
You said it on this podcast talking about Maxey and VJ. You said that VJ probably won't be as good if not for Maxey. Like that is culture right there. That is one guy helping another guy get better, feeding off of each other.
Thank you, son.
No. Okay.
But that is
so you do
culture.
Value that. You do value that.
This is why I'm gonna root for the Knicks to win the championship, because to me that's culture. What they did, they didn't tank. They found some high integrity guys who were really good, not superstars, because no one knew Brunson would be this good. I think Tibbs led the, he had the framework.
Chuck, but you're talking about a team and an organization that hasn't tanked for 50 years, right? But we're still one of the worst run franchises ever, right? There's like this. If you want to say culture starts with just having good players, that's fine. But like it's not what you're saying. I don't consider what their success is because of quote unquote culture.
I think it's more culture than what your guys giving credit to the Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder, who lost on purpose to get players and got better. The Knicks didn't do that. So that's all I'm saying. You're right. Maybe it's not culture in what you say, but I think it's more of a way, to me, a more responsible way to build a team.
But that's all I want.
With you and the national media are like just putting these teams on a pedestal because of their culture, and it just drives me bananas.
But Chuck, you have to understand, before they got Wemby, they had a bunch of good young players. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right? They drafted them, they cultivated them, and then they traded those players for assets where they were able to get like some high draft picks. But you still have to make the correct picks. They didn't have to draft Stephen Castle. I didn't think Stephen Castle was what did he go? Number 4?
3.
5, 6?
4, 3 or 4.
I'm like, that guy's he's not there. He's not that kid. But they're good at recognizing gems. Yeah. And that's part of their culture. That part of their culture is recognizing talent and then cultivating that talent. That's not what we are.
You know why? Because they were patient, Troy. They lost for 7 years and they didn't make a coaching change.
They got okay.
They make a GM change.
But so you are saying that coaching does matter?
No, I think the stability matters. I think if you want to bring in,
but here's my other point with the Spurs. They did trade Derek White. They had Derek White. Derek White was a great player for them, and they made a move to get rid of him. Yeah. Right? Like the moves that they make are good moves. The moves that we make, we signed Mac McClung just so he could wear a Sixer jersey in a dunk contest, and we let Champagne go. And now he's a starter for the Spurs, dead-eye shooter. Like that's our culture. That's our culture. That's who we are as the Sixer organization. We would much rather have a dunk contest winner wear a Sixer uniform and never play in a game than have a potential starter on a championship caliber team.
That's fair.
T-Mac, you should have won the dunk contest.
I wasn't comparing
He did win
our
dunk
culture
contest?
to anyone else's.
Right.
I wasn't comparing our culture anymore. I was comparing I can guarantee the Marshals will be putting the Washington Wizards on a pedestal.
I will never put the Washington. I don't even know who the Washington Wizards. It won't happen. It won't happen. I don't put it this way. I don't even think the Washington Wizards are going to have the number 1 pick. I think they're going to trade it to Utah. That's what I think.
Well, I mean, they're drafting high. That's my point.
They're drafting high.
They're drafting high.
They're drafting high. We'll definitely keep tabs on the draft. We'll definitely keep tabs on the draft and more Sixers offseason stuff as we get into the Sixers offseason. Looking forward to doing a little draft preview. A lot of big names to talk about. Koa Pete definitely mentioned with the Sixers at that 22nd overall selection, along with a few other guys. But that does it. If we don't want to get into anything else,
no,
fellas, for this episode.
No, you got anything, Noah?
Well, make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow us on social media. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for a great NBA Sixers season. Well, good NBA Sixers season. They exceeded expectations, beating the Celtics.
Yeah, that's fair.
Made some memories we'll have forever. So thank you guys for that.
Shout out to Victor for watching on YouTube.
Victor, thanks for coming in. Bring your friends next time too.
Yes.
Hey, bring all your Knicks fans. I don't care. Bring them on.
Stay tuned for more content, guys. Have a great night.
Take it easy, fellas.
Powered by Riverside.